Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What We Think from Graybeards. I hope everybody's had a great week, and we're joined today again with my good friend, aka Bug. Good morning, Bug. How are you?
I am I'm great. And the reason why I'm great is that I don't have to go to work tomorrow, Jack. I will be chilling. I will be doing what I want to do.
You'll be
You know what I'm
doing
saying?
yards. You'll be doing
Yeah, I
yards
mean,
is really,
it's
if I
nothing like
straighten my hat out.
my good friend Wayne. He brings me as I float on cloud nine, he pulls out that bow and brings me back down the reach.
But it happens. I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. Hey, look, you know what? That arrow flew right by me.
Now,
Luckily for me, it's a poor shot.
I don't know what we talked about. If we talked about this last week, we had talked about kind of episodes about retiring, right? Both of you and I are on the precipice of being
Precipice.
Social Security eligible for and retiring, right? You're closer than I am, but uh, it's the hourglass, yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Him and his props.
Go ahead.
But we had talked about it. You and I had a conversation about living life now before you retire as if you're retiring to know that you could retire based off, the next income, not talking about any of your retirement investments that you have, 401k or anything like that, but you know, you and I are both retired military. We have a pension from that. We have VA benefits and then Social Security. And those three things combined would be, you know, what Uncle Sugar would provide us based off of what we've contributed or what we've done to get those benefits.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier, we had talked what last week about. I suggested that if you were on the fence of whether or not to retire, to live like you're retired on those set incomes that you know that will be coming in for 6 months. They really give you a picture of whether or not you could retire and live at a lifestyle that you're comfortable with. And I know you're working that plan now because you're closer. I mean, you're what, 4 months older than I am, I think. No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Your
4 months.
birthday is March?
Mine's
When your birthday?
February.
February, yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, you're about
Yeah.
4 months older than I am. So I'm going to start doing the same thing, is living my life on what I project my income will be um, going forward at when I decide to retire.
Are
Me,
you
my
saying you have
financial
not been
commitments
doing
and,
that?
huh?
Are you saying that you're not living like you would be now?
I would say, I would say I am, but
That's
um,
that's exactly. I'm like, this is the way you live anyway, you know.
yeah, I
And I
don't
judge
live,
this. This
you
is
know,
Wayne at work. You see this phone? Pretend it's a tray of food. That's all that dude eat. He eats like little more little. I don't even know where they find chicken that small. This dude eats like pigeons.
well, I have
Work.
to because I was, I'm big as a house, I'm a fat guy. So, but I mean,
Oh,
the
that's
point is that now people don't know and I don't want to put your personal business out there, that you have a lot of responsibility to
I
other
do.
people, your parents, uh,
Hmm.
spouse, ex-spouse,
Hmm.
daughter. You have a daughter behind you that's getting ready to go to college that you're supporting her 100%, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah,
pretty
not
much,
fine.
I mean, you provide everything for her. I mean, the college, I think she's going to go to college now. There was talk that she was going to
She going
join
to
the
Midlands Tech.
military, but plans
Yeah.
have changed, which is fine,
Hmm.
she's in that age, none of us knew what to do at 18, right? My parents didn't really provide a lot of guidance going forward. I don't think yours did either, you know. Uh, and I learned that lesson with my children. From day one, they knew that what their life path would be to adulthood after high school. They were going to go to college, whatever it was. They were going to at least have a bachelor's degree in basket weaving. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. They're going to have that because I feel that in today's society, that a college degree, I would prefer them to learn a skill, and they kind of did. Um, if I could give anybody advice, plan out what your children are going to, at least have a plan. Plans change. We all know that, right? You know, um, but a lot of people, yeah, they'll figure it out on their own, which is somewhat true. Most people do. I
Mm.
know my youngest went to college for a certain degree and then changed, right? She was like, no, she realized that that's not what she wanted to do the rest of her life, right?
Right.
So she changed her
Yeah.
degree and did something different. But how is we just talked about it and you said you're going to start doing this.
Yeah, I
You're
pushed
kind
it
of,
back a couple more
you're
days.
kind of the biggest procrastinator. I thought I was, but you're worse than I am.
Well, you know what though, Wayne, to be honest with you, I think this fits in the parameter what you're speaking on. One, if you're gonna live um like that, like you're retired, you need to I've already begun. You've heard
Yeah,
me
you've
talk
been working
about
on it.
reducing debt, and I've reduced a tremendous amount of debt. There's a few more things. I've consolidated. I've opted for less expensive entertainment choices. Like my phone. I get my phone. I'm gonna put this out there. AT&T, send me a check. I
Yeah,
got my phone, my internet, and my cable. It's a whopping $300 a month. And I was paying a lot more than that for those three services. My entertainment, right?
yeah.
So I've already reduced that. There's a few things that can go, but for like Massage Envy, I got to pay Wayne
Massage
first
envy.
before I get rid of that.
Mhm.
Wayne did me a really good service. I promised him and his wife some massages. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that going. So as soon as he get his done, as soon as he's paid, they're gone. And that's about $75 a month. Um there's a couple more things I can get rid of. So I can save another $300 a month. So that's part of the plan. Now, once I get rid of those few items, then I'm gonna go ahead and maybe September 1st, you know, that's gonna be my target. And we'll kind of make it like a little show. How's Ernie doing with
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just so
pre-retirement?
that people know how,
Yeah.
and I would be curious that, if people are thinking that way, right? Or is it just me, right? I
Right.
see all this stuff on the internet. You can, retire at 62. No, 64 is the worst time to, all this stuff out there. People are, if they're actually looking for information, right? Because one, you can go to a financial advisor, right? And everyone I've ever, for the most part, ever been to, all they want to do is sell you freaking insurance so they make money off of it. Or they charge you a ridiculous fee for, a 30-minute consult on what you should be doing to retire, right? And I get it, that's how they make their living. I'm not saying they're right, wrong, or indifferent. And I'm not telling people not to seek out professional advice, right?
Sometimes the best advice is from your friends. I would consider your advice. I mean, because you got a lot of life skills. Um, you're not an inexperienced man. You've come up through the trenches. You have a core of experience that's very valuable. You've lived the lifestyle. I mean, I can tell. I mean, all the counseling you give me, you know, and all of this stuff. So you're doing it. So you don't necessarily have to pay an individual that's has a degree on the wall. I mean, we all probably should have degrees on the wall, life skills. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So,
and I've done the
so I,
same thing, right? I've talked
yeah,
to people that I've done the same thing. I've talked to people and learned what did advice do they have of what did you do wrong and how did
hmm
you fix it,
yeah,
or did you fix it? Where was your
hmm
mistake? I'll be the first one to tell you that my biggest mistake was I did not pay myself. If I would have taken just $50 a week, right?
hmm
And keep in mind, $50 was a lot of money for me back
yeah,
in the day, right? When in the
sure.
80s, growing up in the
Oh, yeah,
military,
it's not a month.
yeah, that was a lot of
Hmm
money, right? But if you had taken just $50 a week and put it in an IRA or some kind of investment, I'd have like $1.4 million like after 40 years. If,
hmm
you know, at
Yeah,
moderate growth, you know,
yeah,
through the
hmm
peaks and valleys, like 2008, there was a big drop. I lost a lot of
yeah,
money that I had invested.
yeah,
Um, if those that are old enough to remember 2008 as an adult, most people don't know what happened in 2008, right? They had no idea.
yeah. The housing crash, the housing
Yeah, the
market.
housing, and there was a
Hmm
lot of people lost.
hmm
I lost a lot of money that I had through investments, not a lot of my own money, but a lot of the invested money
Right.
value, if you will, was
Yeah.
lost, right? And then it
hmm
took me many years after 2008 to get back where I was before 2008. You know what I mean?
hmm
So
hmm
it puts you back. And when you're trying to get to where you have an investment retirement income, it's, just like when we were
hmm
talking earlier about the Great Depression, it's been almost 100 years. We're coming
Yeah.
up on close to 100 years since the Great Depression, where banks
hmm
defaulted, people lost their jobs, companies went under, farmers lost their land. There was a lot of environmental things that happened there. We were talking this morning. It's like him
hmm
and I both are going to rely on a government pension, if you will,
hmm
between Social Security or military retirement. Those are two
hmm
main things that both you and I are going to rely on in our retirement years. And if the government
Facts.
defaults as it's getting to the point where there's, 40 trillion or whatever it is, I didn't look to see what the current, I think the last
hmm
I heard, we were like close to 40 or at $40 trillion in debt as a
Right.
country.
It's a lot.
Uh, and that's,
And we got,
that's worrisome for me, because even though I have other investments, but if the government defaults, right, those investments, who knows what value they will have.
a lot of investments are tied to the government,
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the stability of the U.S. government it's a lot. It's a lot weighing on it, bro. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah. So keep that in mind. And what's the way out? Pay. Try to pay off your bills. Try to be debt free. But even
Mhm.
with that, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing this. It's always a smart move to be debt free. But there's other things. Taxes. We see taxes are going up. Inflation is going up. So I don't know what to tell you. You got to seek divine power, divine intervention.
It's like,
Ultimately, yeah. But yeah, we may be a long way off from that, but still prepare for it. That's what Wayne and I are talking about. Um, I need to. I want to try to live off the money that I expect to get
mhm.
before I retire, just to see what it looks like. Now I will say this to the listening audience: retirement for me is not floating away on a cloud. That's not retirement. Retirement for me is doing what I want to do when I want to do it. Now I'm gonna continue to do my yards. I'm gonna, I enjoy doing it, but I don't think I would have to do it. I think it'd just be additional money,
Yeah.
to go on a trip or take the wife out to eat or, replace something that's broke. I don't know, but we'll see,
Well,
what
but
it's gonna look like. Yeah.
we all rely on certain things, right? Your side gig, we'll call it.
Yeah. That's
You
exactly what
rely
it is.
on that because there's people that have a means to pay you to do that.
Yes.
And if the
Definitely.
government, that is in shambles or to pay their
That's gone.
debts,
Hmm.
the other people aren't going to be able to hire, your you to do those
Hmm.
services. Or if they do, they're
Hmm.
like, I can't pay you that much. I just need you to cut it, whatever, you know.
You know what? That's what happened during the Great Depression. I
Mhm.
still need this service done, but I'm gonna have to pay you 50 cents to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
and I might want that 50 cent. I might need that 50 cent, or
Yeah.
that $20 or whatever it is, hey man, I cut your grass down for $20. I got the tools. I can still do it. I got the health right now. So yeah, I'll probably take them up on that. And that might be something. That might be a material for another show. What happens? How we gonna survive the Great Depression? How would you survive? We've talked about the zombie apocalypse and all that kind of stuff, but let's talk about something that's real. We
Yeah.
could go into another depression, with the war going on. This thing is escalating. It's costing us billions of dollars a month,
Oh, we've been
to
living that.
sustain.
Man, we've been living
Yeah.
that since '90s. Since we've
Yeah,
been
the
at a
forever
state of
wars, right?
conflict since the
Yeah.
'90s, right? And
Yeah.
before that, it was the Cold War. We've been, I
Price of
forget
freedom
this.
is high.
Well, for any government, this is again my opinion,
Mhm.
not because I was in the military or anything like that, but for any government to survive, a strong military is a must.
Unless you're a European country and have a big brother that funds, that protects you from everything, yeah, you need
Exactly.
a strong government.
Yeah, but what I'm
But if
saying
you're,
is, you know what I mean? If you don't have you don't have the military might to back up your, sovereignty, it's,
you're right.
you know,
Europe is doing it at our expense.
well, that's
Nothing
because
against you,
we
European.
we for whatever reason there is some sovereignty, or security blanket, if you will, in the
Security blanket,
fact
safety
knowing
net.
that, it's like a safety net that protecting your neighbors, if you will, from chaos or calamity or collapse or what have you. There's some, because
It's a value in it.
we do rely on other countries for
Yeah.
trade and, those type
Hmm.
of things, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, and
Yeah, I
Russia,
mean, it is.
to segue into Russia and Ukraine, Russia is looking, there's, I've seen it on some of the news reporting that Russia's looking to target some NATO country, right?
Poland, maybe. I think
Yeah,
some missiles came close to Poland last week.
yeah,
Close enough where their alarms went off. They were like, "Hey, there's some incoming missiles. You better take shelter." But they did land in the Ukraine or wherever it was intended for. But they were very close.
yeah,
So
yeah. This
Russia
so that they're concerned. There's a
is
you
concerned.
know that you know this that whole war is the Ukraine-Russian war is just out of control. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
it's
So that all ties into retirement, trying to project what's going to happen in the future, and what you're going to do, what moves you should make. You know,
Yeah,
there's a
and
lot of
that
stuff I didn't worry about like a couple of
forever,
years ago.
forever.
Yeah, care about that.
One day at a time. and I think a lot of people are in that same category, right? They were just worrying about their own backyard for the most part. This is good for me. I can make my bills. But I see stories all the time of people that have lost everything, right? But that could it have been avoided? Most of them will probably say no, it wasn't that. They don't want to take blame on their own. But in their driveway used to sit two brand new vehicles that was debt that they were paying. They didn't pay cash for them. They were more, financed everything. And next thing you know, they got shows. We talked earlier. They have shows, the Repo Man, whatever. They made TV shows out of people getting stuff repossessed. You know,
Yeah.
and then people watch that stuff and be like, they're laughing, right? They're laughing at them people having they make fun or make light of this situation that person has found themselves in,
Yeah.
you know,
It-
because they're like, you idiot, you shouldn't have done it, you shouldn't. Yet everybody's out there, they're pulling out that
you're
little
right.
piece of plastic card and don't even know what's
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah.
It's
They're
it's
doing
you know, it's just sad.
it.
It's
I tell
sad to
my
see
pitch.
sad society in that
Yeah,
state of
it
mind.
is. I mean, yeah, it is. It's sad. I tell my pitchers, I'm like, don't pitch Dwayne. That's a little phrase I done came up with. I'm always coming up with some little spin off saying based off of what
Yeah.
because he's knocking it out of the park. That's why you don't want to pitch to. So but yeah, you're right. That kind of segue into the conversation we was having before we started the show today about homeless individuals, right? The people that are on the other end of the spectrum, the people that have, for whatever reason, lost everything, and it's kind of a, we talk about it at the job. I got a regular person that asks me for money. I don't even know him. I don't even know this guy's name, but he hangs out at this certain gas station that I need to stop at to get a Red Bull. And Wayne and
I'm trying
Kyle
not to
was
laugh,
teasing
but
me. Look at this. That was good, man. I like it. He's looking like Stonewall Jackson or somebody. He's just looking up in the space. But anyway, this guy is
mhm.
waiting on me. And when he sees me, it's a green light. Yeah, okay. I know this guy has some green stuff for me. And he does. He comes. Yeah, you see, You see Mr. Sunshine coming, Mr. I got
Mhm.
it all going on, right? And he comes up to me and he asks me for some money. And $5 is, I mean, these guys on the street, they're a different kind of breed, man. Hey, that's all you got. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Help a brother out.
That's it. You can't spot a 20. What's happening? Well, I mean, what's going on? Your job is it okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you fine? Are you budgeting? Are you living beyond your means? I'm like, hey, bro, you should be glad for what I'm giving you, okay? He's shaking me down like, hey, get yourself together, man. Come on. You know I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I want to get you guys' opinion on helping those that are less fortunate than you. What's your thoughts on it? Some of my conservative friends is like, heck to the no. Give that cat no money. Period. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get a job. You're only contributing to this bad was delinquency. So I don't know. I do feel compassionate for people like that. And he probably don't need it. But anyway, I helped him. And I told him about this other guy when I go to this certain neighborhood to do yards. This guy comes up to me and he don't just come at me and ask me for money. But no, I know the reason why he stopped is because he wants some kind of financial contribution to his life. So he'll sit down and at least he give me some conversation, right? But as soon as I hey man, he was like, yeah, man, these people, they put me up in a room. He's like, I need to, this dude is stupid. Okay. I need
Hold
to
on, hold
kind of
on,
lead him.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
You want me to say it? That's
What did he
it.
say?
You want me to say it? We didn't say the word, the magic
I'm
word. No,
making you say the word. If you don't say it, I'm gonna say it.
hey, Kyle won't say Tango Bravo, so, but all right, I'll say it. This guy says, "Hey, these are some white people put me up in a room for a week," and I laughed at the phrase "white people." Like these people just came on a spaceship from outer space, and they were white.
Like they were aliens
So
to
the
him or
white,
something.
these are
Yeah.
the white people. That's funny to me. I get a chuckle
It is
out of it every
funny. It's
time I
funny
hear
to
that
me
term.
too that he wanted to make sure you knew to, and
Yeah, he
I
wanted me
think
to know.
so. What do you think that means when he said that to you? What did he mean? What do you think he was
I, I mean,
insinuating?
because I am very simple, Simon. It probably went over my head, but after further review, it probably worked on my psychic. Like, look, man, some people that's not like me helped me this far. You should be able to do this.
Exactly.
That's
He was. He
probably
was.
that's
He
probably what
was.
he meant. But I got stuck on the term that he used to describe the people that helped him. I was just thought
Yeah.
that was funny. You know,
He goaded
I
you into.
I
He
could
goaded
I
you
could
into.
not
Can't
I
let
could
these
not
white
match
people outdo you. Come on, man.
I couldn't match the efforts of those people.
He
But they
played.
could be fictitious. They may not even be real. You probably just threw that
Yeah.
on me. But it
He might be
it didn't
living in a
compel me.
refrigerator cardboard box somewhere, and
Him
you got.
walking with his torso perpendicular to the ground is what motivated me. Other than I, just his physical condition is what made me decide to contribute to him. But anyway, when I gave him the money, now his eyes that it lit up. It's like, whoa, hey, dude, I didn't expect all that, but I'm not gonna turn it down. So he took the money and he dipped. If you don't know what dip means,
He was like, he rolled it up.
I'm out of here.
He rolled that 20 into the other 20s he had been
He put
collecting.
that 20, I'm glad you said that. He put that 20 in his sock. Hmm. And that just came to my mind just now. I'm like, I said, dude, sir, um, I don't think that's a safe place to keep money.
It
With the
was
type of
safe
socks I
in.
wear. My socks sometimes are alcoholic. They have no elasticity to them. They fall down. You know, they're under the influence of something. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want. I wouldn't keep money there. I just wouldn't. But he had his socks out of his whole attire. Them bad boys was. They probably that was the secure place to put them. I mean, his socks they fit. I'm like, dang, he invests in socks. Maybe not nothing else, but these socks. And then I was wondering why did he keep it after when I gave him the money, he threw up his hands. Conversation abruptly ended, and he went on about his business.
He's
And
like,
I realized that I just paid for peace of mind. That's all it was. Was it charity, or was I just paying? Did it help me more than it helped him? Probably so. You know,
yeah,
and when he left, I felt like I had contributed to society. I felt like I don't have to give anybody else more money because I've done my good deed. You know what I'm saying? I wonder how God look at what he probably like, listen, Sharp, you get partial credit. Like with some of my teachers, I'm gonna give you had your name on the paper, okay? I'm gonna give you partial credit for this task that we assigned you. So, and maybe that's what God will say to me. He might say, dude, you're not gonna get the whole thing because you just wanted this dude to leave, you know.
yeah.
So it was it really charity? Hmm. Yeah.
It
I
is.
mean, I have to pray on it. Yeah.
Everybody, let me think. Was Ernie in the right giving that guy 20 bucks? And what is $20? And then on that note, we're going to call it for today because we're almost out of
All
time. I
it.
think, you know, $20 today, it isn't what it was 10 years, 20 years ago. Right?
Nah.
So,
Mm-mm. He would have
good
offered.
on you, my friend.
Yeah, giving that
And
guy $20 back in the day, he probably like, look, I feel the obligation to wash your car. But people are different now. You know, they want money
mm,
for nothing. You know,
for nothing.
use back in the day, people will offer a service to get money because that was where the morality was.
It was,
Hey, man, I'll wash your car. I'll do something for you. I need to earn whatever you give me. You know, but now
man.
you just need to
Yeah,
give me
you
this
owe
money.
them. You owe them
Yeah,
people.
you rich
But anyway,
mother. Yeah.
share your experiences, everyone. And let Bug know what what you would do. What
Yeah.
WWJD, right?
What would Jesus do?
And
Yes,
are
sir.
we on the
And
collapse of a government collapse? Are we at the government? What would you
answer that.
do?
What do y'all feel? Do you
What do
guys
you
feel
guys
secure?
do? What would you do? Are
Yeah.
you guys secure? Those
Yeah.
older folks that are out there, and if you're younger, I'm telling you, mark my words, pay yourself. That was a lesson I never learned till later on in life. Pay yourself, meaning save your money, save your, don't go into debt just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. Y'all, so Wayne remind me next week to tell you about Mr. Owens. He was the individual, he's long dead, but he lived through the Great Depression. He was there.
Yeah.
He was a guy that used to help my dad when my dad was building the house way back in the 70s. Mr. Owens
All
was the
right,
guy.
Mr. O. We'll
Yeah.
learn that. We'll keep make
We'll
a
tell you
note.
about the Great
Mr.
Depression.
O. All right,
Mr.
everybody. Take
Owens.
care. Thanks for watching. You know, like, share, subscribe, that whole thing that they do on this platform. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week and God bless.
God bless. That's all I got.
Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the next
See you
one.
next time.